information do I have that allows me to make better decisions? And along the way, you still got to adapt. But I think you need to have both, right? So yes, you got a product, put it out there in the market and see what comes. You are going to have version 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is. And before long, if you're successful, then you find that you might be moving from B2C to a B2B or B2B to a B2C or both. You could be servicing different kind of customers, and you have to adapt, right? But it doesn't negate the need for you to really step back and start with, okay, I've got a great idea. Who is my target audience? Who would like that idea? Now, how do I engage them, right? Maybe after the first few times you might find the target audience is the wrong one. Great. So you either look for a new one, or you change your product, or you change your strategy. But you need to be able to come back and say that there's a framework for me to answer all the questions, right? And to bounce back. So you need to do that in parallel. That's why my belief is that there's no one size fits all. Whatever process or methodology you adopt today could change tomorrow because your customers change. It could change because of your products change, right? But to Mark's point, I think yes, we have our processes. The famous saying, culture eats strategy for breakfast. I would say execution eats strategy for lunch. You can have the best processes in the world, but if you don't have a culture that executes on them, forget it, nothing's going to work, right? I mean, you're going to be very reactive. That's my view.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. I remember I was in business school and I was trying this business as a professor who's in sales came up to me and I was struggling to get sales, right? She's like, oh, well, it's easy. You just talk to your current customers, create some profiles, and then try to target those. And I was like, okay. Problem was I had no customers, so I couldn't create anything, right? So and then you don't know your product yet. You don't know what it is. You're still trying to figure out what is this thing that I've made or built, and you're still trying to find. You go up to, do you want it? No. Do you want it? No. Okay. Right. And then so you're still trying to adjust, and I totally get that. I think the cool part, the advantage of what stage are you guys in your product development? Are you launched or?
We have launched preliminary product.
Okay, so like an MVP, right? Perfect, great. So that's like a great position to be in because you take that product, right, and then you just you go find different. So obviously you have a general sense of what the product does, right? It's not like you have just what is your product, right?
So we very brief description.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
So we enable vehicles to talk to each other.
Yeah.
So vehicle-to-vehicle communications,
okay.
and connect them to the internet. And using this, we provide various kinds of services, one of which is Wi-Fi on the vehicle.
What do you mean vehicle and vehicle? Like
So
I'm driving and Vivian's driving.
Mainly we are targeting actually commercial fleet, so it could be buses, for example, and we connect the buses to each other. We link them back to the internet using various kinds of connectivity. I won't bore you with the connectivity, but then we use this connectivity to provide various kinds of services. One of which is enabling passengers on the buses, for example, to get internet using Wi-Fi. Another is maybe connecting the CCTV cameras on the buses back to their control center. So that's kind of like the services we're providing. But we are still trying to figure out exactly who we should be selling to. Is it the commercial fleets?
Yeah.
Advertising companies.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, this is a great point of thing to be in. Who do you sell it? And I totally get this, right? I've totally been there, right? So you basically go, to Benny's point, this is a great parallel process, right? Because you go talk to all of them, and you put the product in their hands, and you just see what they do with it, right? They're like, all right, and then they're like, oh no, this is stupid. Okay, that's not my customer. All right, well this is pretty good. I could definitely see. So you say, okay, and then you basically say, okay, that's potentially my customer. So my recommendation to you is just go talk to every single. I mean, you don't know anything right now. You don't know what you don't know. So just go talk to all of them and say, look, this is what we've built. But then to Benny's point, follow that process, right? Don't don't show them the product. Will you use this, right? Ask them questions like, what are the problems you're facing, right? Are you, what? And then once they kind of start talking about something that your product will solve, like, okay, we might have something for you. We're launching something, and then through that you discover about your product, you discover about the customer, and then you build from there.
Thanks. I'm Vivian from VK Transformation, the digital sales transformation management company. I would like to pivot the question towards talent. In this day and age, especially digital age, selling has become more competitive as what Jessie has mentioned earlier. I would really be interested to understand from you in today's context, how do you distinguish and what have you been seeing that contributes to a rock star enterprise rep versus the rest of the other sales rep? Because in today's, I think the stats is showing that more than 50% are not hitting the numbers. So there's a handful of sales enterprise reps out there are overachieving. So from your experience, what are the key contributors
Key contributors
to a rock star enterprise sales
that
rep
means what the person
in general?
in general.
How
Oh,
that
That's a $1 million question.
So
I'll share some.
Why you like that?
Well, I mean, I think the ones, I can, and this can be fairly generic because I met, because in my training, I meet some rock stars and some who should be under a rock.
or
I'm
becoming
gonna
a
borrow
rock.
that.
Right, so, but the rock stars are, and to my surprise, there is no single formula. In fact, there are rock stars who are like, I know a guy who's a rock star, it's only a 70-year-old sales guy. And I know a guy who's a rock star, he's like 26-year-old guy. And they're both in the same company, right? They have very different audience. They have very different customers, okay? But the way they perform, the one who is 70 years old, this is what he does, right? He writes everything on paper. For those of you in my generation who goes to a doctor who doesn't key in your name but writes everything on the card and records when you come back, he's like that, right? Every single customer, every call, he records everything. Right? So what I observe, the only similar thing between this 70-year-old guy and the 20-year-old rock star is that this 70-year-old is that they both do the same thing. They keep tabs on their customers. They record every single thing, okay, every incident that they have with their customers, and they are so diligent in following up. They are extremely good friends and good rapport with their customers, right? And these are rock stars, right? But 70-year-old, 26-year-old, but one would not even use his smartphone because he can't see. He say my fingers are too fat to type, right? So he hires his own secretary to write down reports and he reads on the paper. Whereas the other one who say, look, every time I have a meeting with my customer, I record it and everything digital, it's on my phone book. Every single meeting I have is there, and I remember their birthdays and I know where they live. I remember their wives, birthdays and so on, right?
Yeah.
So but that's in that industry, right? But I think a common thread for anyone who's a sales rock star is that one who has a real passion for their customers, right? And really understanding what their customers need and looking for ways to solve the customer problems, finding solutions for them.
Yeah. So I think I totally take. That's great, and I think it just reminds you how just the basics just really work, right? Just
Yes.
paying attention to stuff. So I think to answer your question, I'm just thinking about my team, and so the 80-20 rule applies in sales better than anywhere else. Like 20% of your sales force will make 80% of your sales. Like it just happens, right? And at least in my experience. And just looking at my team now, my two top enterprise salespeople, they're very good for different. The person who brings me the most deals, right, is this young kid. He's 24, and just ability to get his foot in the door is better than I've ever seen, right? It comes through just the tenacity of just not caring, like if something goes wrong, right? It just takes a lot of guts that I think we lose as we get dated through the process, right? And you know, he'll like walk into offices, you know, companies who haven't been returning his call, and like will basically go up to the CEO secretary and be like, hey, I just want to hand deliver this letter to the CEO, and they'll be like, what? And then the CEO will walk out and he'll do it, and then immediately the CEO will introduce him to, you know, the HR team, the finance team, the PM team. So just his ability to do that and just connect with people and build relationships, as Benny said, is phenomenal, right? And he makes sure that he really cares for the person. What he doesn't do so well is taking good notes and following good process. I'm trying to train him. Right? Drives me insane as a manager, right? Because like I look at his pipe, I look at his CRM system, like there's no notes here. Right? So yeah, right. So but great, right? I mean, and then the person who actually doesn't bring me the most or bring me the best deals is this girl on my team who just flips the script better than anybody else I know, right? When a client comes with a certain objection or like, oh well, we want this or we won't sign, her ability to play to the strengths of your platform and product is great. So she'll, you know, for example, you know, somebody will come and say, you know, or excuse me, like, oh, you know, we don't like the fact that, you know, you have to wait sometimes 10 minutes to get a car, right? Which is more of an excuse than anything, right? Really, because I mean, it's pretty awesome to get a car in 10 minutes. That's still pretty cool, right? So you know, she'll flip the script. She's like, well, you know, let me ask you this. What are you doing now, right? Well, I'm going to the street, kind of take a look at, right? She's like, what's better, right? Would you rather hit something on your app and get a car to you? While those 10 minutes you're sending off your last emails, you're finishing up your work, or would you rather be outside, you know, waiting, you know, in the hot sun trying to get a cab, and then they're like, oh right, that's right. So just flipping the script and just bringing the best possible deal towards it. She's fantastic. So I think those are the two qualities. I think the second one can be qualified as a challenger type, and then the first one is just I guess lone wolf, but definitely somebody who builds really solid relationships. Yeah.
Did you predict that their success when you interviewed?
Absolutely not. Yeah. It shows you how good I am at hiring.
But each takes competition as well in yourself. Because as we're saying, you're hitting numbers and you need to be willing to go for that. If you're freezing, the passion for customers will be nothing.
You have to be willing to take rejections. What's the worst they can do, right? Just say no. Move on to another one. Or just be persistent.
So I think just to, Vivian and I are actually schoolmates. So we went to a pre-university together, and we were selling even then, right? We were like 17, 18. We were knocking on doors to raise funds to print school magazines. Back in some years.
Those were the days.
But I'm really glad you're asking this. I think, you know, the talent war for millennials, and that's, you know, I see a lot of young people here as well.
Right. I think
I think
sorry, go ahead.
sorry, what was I gonna say? Yeah. When we first started selling, okay, sorry, I'm not gonna reveal your age, but somewhere in the 90s, we see brands of, you know, rock stars in the companies that we join, and they tend to be, you know, more, you know, extroverted, more rock star profile. You can actually hear them before you see them, and you know they are very they're very good at public speaking. You know, give up the gap, and they're very sociable. You know, it's just very obvious. But I think as I'm growing older, and now with the digital age, surprisingly, really good face-to-face salespeople, during the interview, you listen for a certain kind of self-awareness. That means you listen for somebody that listens well. Somebody that kind of like have a natural curiosity, respect human beings as individuals. I think that's a telltale sign that they're gonna fit well in whatever we do. You know, companies change so fast. Very good. Sorry.
I'm just conscious of the time.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Thank you, thank you so much.
Yeah, so Julian has to leave
Yes.
at 8 for another appointment. Do you have anything to share with the rest of them? End of we will still continue, yeah.
If you know, of course.
Yeah.
We are too exciting for you, right? You can just shift to the room.
Yeah, so I do have to go, but thank you so much for this opportunity. I think the craft of sales is an art, and we give our life and soul to it, you know, as we grow in different phases of our life. So there's so much to learn and so much to talk about, and if I have the opportunity to